It's a world of snow and ice, but the cold never bothered me anyway. Welcome to Antarctica, Earth's southernmost continent. By the way, you may have heard that the ice in Antarctica is melting due to global warming. But what would happen if all the ice in Antarctica melted away? And what would Antarctica look like without its winter clothes on? Today, we're talking about the naked Antarctica. As you may know, Antarctica is the fifth largest continent on Earth, covering an area of 14.2 million kilometers. This dwarfs the size of the United States and is almost twice as large as Australia. And much of the ice covering Antarctica is a whopping 2 kilometers thick, which translates into a volume of 28.4 million kilometers cubed. To put it in perspective, this is 7.5 times the volume of the Mediterranean Sea. And if you slice this Antarctic ice into 70-meter thick slices, like sliced cheese, you would get 26 slices of ice, each with an area of 14.2 million kilometers squared. That's enough to cover all of the Earth's oceans. So, the National Snow and Ice Data Center says that if all of the ice covering Antarctica were to melt, global sea levels could rise an average of 60 meters. If this were to become reality, it could displace over 1 billion environmental refugees, as major coastal cities, eastern China, the Amazon basin in South America, and many others would be swallowed up by seawater. But the catastrophe is just beginning. Antarctic ice is fresh water with almost no salt content. So if all of it were to melt and flow into the ocean, the salinity of water would drop dramatically. This would kill corals and other marine life, possibly a mass extinction level event. An even bigger problem would be the changes in ocean currents. Differences in the temperature and salinity of seawater are what drives our ocean's currents. A decrease in salinity could change the seawater density, disrupting Earth's ocean currents. Atmospheric circulation is closely linked to these currents, so such changes could cause extreme changes in the planet's weather conditions. Who knows? Maybe the planet would face a sudden ice age, like in the movie The Day After Tomorrow. Conversely, carbon dioxide trapped in the ice might intensify the planet's greenhouse gas effect. So, climate issues aside, what would Antarctica look like without all that ice? This is what you might have imagined. But in fact, this is what Antarctica would look like if all the ice melted. In 2019, Professor Matteau, an Earth systems engineer at the University of California, published a paper that redrew the map of Antarctica by examining the crust beneath the continent's ice layer. What they found was that Antarctica was not one giant continent, but rather one mainland continent the size of Australia, and a series of islands, large and small, like the Malay archipelago. This fragmentation of Antarctica into islands is actually very cool. After the Andes, Rockies, and Great Divide, the Transantarctic mountain range takes its place as the world's fourth largest mountain range. And the northwestern island alone is larger than the United Kingdom and New Zealand. The Vinson Massif, 4,892 meters, the highest mountain in Antarctica, would also be an impressive sight if all the ice wasn't there. And here's a fun fact. Over time, this map of Antarctica will gradually change. That's right, it's time to talk about Glacial Isostatic Adjustment, or GIA. The thick glaciers coating Antarctica are actually holding the continent down and pressing it into the planet's mantle. But with all that ice holding it down gone, the crust will slowly push back up, and the map of Antarctica might begin to look something like this. Doesn't this look a lot like it used to? In fact, right after the last ice age, Finland was mostly submerged underwater like this. But as the ice melted away, letting the underlying land to rise up, it took on its current shape. What could we humans do with an iceless Antarctica? Probably not farming. That's because the ground in Antarctica is mostly gravel, not dirt. Instead, the 19th century American gold rush would take place once more in the frigid lands of Antarctica. A long time ago, like 420 million years ago, Africa, India, Australia, South America, Arabia, and yes, Antarctica used to form a supercontinent called Gondwana. And each of these continents have been found to contain gold, diamonds, oil, and other underground resources. Therefore, there's a good chance that abundant underground resources such as oil, gold, copper, platinum, and uranium are lying beneath Antarctica, as it used to be attached to these other resource-abundant continents. If we did indeed find these resources beneath a bare Antarctica, there would almost certainly be a mad rush of countries and companies to claim them. However, as there would be many environmental refugees displaced by the rise in sea levels, it's possible that some of the economic benefits of Antarctica's resources could go toward helping them. Or maybe some of the refugees who can tolerate the cold climate would suggest that we create a new country for them in Antarctica. Of course, I'm just imagining things for now. But wait, the real problem of an iceless Antarctica is still lurking in the shadows. We could be facing new pandemics. For now, we can call Antarctica a COVID-19 free zone. But the moment all the ice melts, it risks unleashing unknown pathogens suspended in the permafrost. In 2014, a new virus called pithevirus was discovered in the permafrost of Siberia. And in 2016, unusually high temperatures melted frozen animal carcasses in the Siberian permafrost, releasing the anthrax bacterium. This led to the deaths of around 2,300 reindeer. Not only that, but in 2015, Ohio State University researcher Ping Zhongji discovered some 28 new viral genes in glacier samples collected from the Tibetan Plateau. In this sense, it's likely that the Antarctic permafrost also harbors viruses that humans have never encountered before, and some of them may be fearsome enough to threaten humanity. Right now, 69 billion tons of Antarctica ice is melting every year, with an ice shelf the size of Los Angeles disappearing over the last 6 years. But all the ice in Antarctica isn't going to melt overnight. Over the course of hundreds of millions of years, however, the shifting of Earth's tectonic plates will eventually bring down the end of Antarctica's ice. In a time after time, what would an Antarctican forest look like? And what kind of creatures might be living there? Science is a window to the world, and this has been Science Dream. Thank you for watching.